Hello, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm reviewing these bookplate dies, or tag dies, however you want to see them, that I received free of charge from Craspire for my review. The brand is Global Land, and let me tell you what, I had so much fun playing with these. I just kept wanting to make more and more, and I can just see so many uses for them. I'm sure you're going to be seeing these in my projects very often in the future. These dies all cut very well, just in one pass, and I did cut them out of some pretty heavyweight foiled cardstock, and I didn't have any trouble getting the pieces to poke out or anything like that. They cut very cleanly. I have several examples to share with you, and so I'm going to show them to you one by one, and then I will put them next to the coordinating dies that I used to make them. There are infinite ways that you can use these dies, and I tried to give you a couple different examples of ways you could, like for instance, this one and this one are both this die set, but on this one, I ran it through an embossing folder and I did some distressing around the edges with some StazOn ink. And I put a 3D dimensional, this is actually a metal butterfly that was all gold, but I colored it in with my Spectrum Noir alcohol ink markers and decorated it with a little bling. Here I went a little bit more traditional with the die set, just embossing the Mr. and Mrs. on there with gold embossing powder. I think that they're both really neat looks. These two are also made with the same die set, just using them in a different way. I just used a scrap of decorative paper that I had to cut out that oval, and I didn't include the heart, obviously, on this one. And instead of letting these hearts be exposed, I just put some bling there, just for a little bit of difference. And on these two, I think that it's just a good testament to how different they can look, just cutting them out of different cardstock. You know, this is a high shine foil cardstock with some glitter. I think that's a nice accent. And this one, I tried some StazOn distressing on it, on the edges, and I even did just with like a finger dauber and with my StazOn, just went like this around the surface of it to try to make it look like a galvanized metal. And I think that the effect came out pretty nice. Now let me show you a couple projects that I made using them. This one, I used this portion right here to make this lovely tag. I'll show you some of the things that I used to make the tag. I wanted to mention that these dies are perfect for using up your scraps, and that's exactly what I did and what inspired me to make this tag. I started with some black cardstock in 110-pound weight. It's a Recollection brand that I get at Michael's, and I used this die set to cut out my tag shape. For my inside mat, I used this shimmer cardstock that I also purchased at Michael's, this Recollections brand. And I ran this through this embossing folder. Once embossed, I went over the embossed areas with a little bit of black soot Distress Oxide ink, and just took a sponge dauber and just lightly kind of rubbed over those areas with the black soot. And I really think that it makes the pattern, the embossed pattern, pop out. I used this scrap of paper to cut out this portion of my book plate, and then I just simply tore a scrap off of it, inked the edge, the rough edge, with some of the black soot Distress Oxide ink, and I glued it down over the embossed piece. Next, I took a small piece of white lace and this bling. I don't know if you can see it. I'll hold it up a little bit closer so you can see what that looks like. And I just glued those down, gluing my book plate on top of it. Right underneath the book plate, though, you might notice sandwiched in between the two, I've just got this little accent peeking out of some black netting with some glitter on it. That's actually from my Halloween stash. This is just a piece, let me show you like this, of leftover mesh tooling that I had from Halloween that I purchased at Dollar Tree. And you can see I just cut just a little portion of that out. And it's just poking out a little bit here and there, but I just thought it added some nice sparkle, and you really can't tell that it's a spider web just because there's so little of the pattern exposed. Next, I used 3 colors of gorgeous eyelash trim that I purchased on Amazon, and I just put those through the top hole, secured them, and that is it. And I just think it turned out really pretty. Now, the last project I have to share with you is this mini album that I made out of paper bags. I will be posting a tutorial for this tomorrow, and if you haven't seen the walkthrough of this yet, I'll link it in the description box below. But on this, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but on the back of this, I used the dies, the book plate dies, to create this on the back of the book in a more traditional book plate style. But I think that that turned out really pretty, and I actually inlaid the pieces back in so it looks like it's more of an embossed effect. Like I said, these dies are so versatile, you're going to find a million different ways to use them. Craspire has generously provided a discount code for my subscribers, and that is Brown and the number 5. And so make sure to use that at the checkout at Craspire to get a discount on your order. Thank you so much, Craspire, for sending these items free of charge for my review. Obviously, I really enjoyed playing with them, and I highly recommend them. I will include links for these dies in the description box below, as well as a general link to Craspire where you can go and find a bunch of crafty goodness. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Also, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Until then, bye!